Welcome to this edition of Like Nobody's Business. I'm Beth Sewald, President and CEO of the Vegas Chamber. As capacity restrictions open up and more people get the COVID vaccines, and we're looking at opening up the economy, what does that really mean for our tourism and convention industry? Joining me today to share his insights is Steve Hill. He's the President and CEO of the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority. Steve, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Mary Beth. Great to be here.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you being on the show. And I know we had some big news recently, a big announcement about World of Concrete. Yes, we have conventions coming back to Las Vegas. Tell us about that.
Yeah, it was a great day for Las Vegas and a great day for Nevada. And certainly want to thank the governor and his staff, business and industry, all the local agencies that have input into that for doing all the work to make it happen and doing so quickly. It is an event that we had really made fairly publicly, kind of a real gateway to reopening the entire industry. And to have it go forward is a really positive thing, not just in and of itself, but because the whole industry is watching that. And now that they see it's approved and they know it's going to go forward, I think we're going to see, a number of shows following that feel much more confident, become much more certain, and really get the industry back up and running.
Do you think it'll kind of open the floodgates for everybody else to come to Vegas, both conventions and tourists alike?
Well, I do think that Vegas is going to respond strongly. The leisure side of our business, I think, is going to see a huge amount of pent-up demand, and I think this summer is going to be strong. We're already seeing signs of that in terms of visitation now is really improving at a pretty significant clip, but forward bookings across the destination have really started to show that as well. And all of us want to get out and need an escape from a year's worth of not being able to do what we wanted to do. And Vegas is really uniquely positioned to be able to offer that to people. I mean, you need a few days away, Vegas is the place to go, and we're seeing that. From a meetings and convention standpoint, it'll take some more time to get fully back up to speed. It'll depend on the type of meeting that's being held. The large citywide shows will happen. Now, will they happen with the exact same size and the same attendance? Probably not early on. It'll take some time for that to recover. Some of that will depend on the industry. Some of it is because we have a big international contingent that comes to a lot of those really large meetings. Nearly 30% of CES are international visitors. So international is going to be the last to recover, and that's going to take some time. And it'll depend on the industry. Retail's been hit hard. There are some industries that have really suffered during the pandemic. Others have done really well. And the health of the industry, the ability for those companies to either spend money on exhibitions or to spend money to send attendees to events will vary somewhat based on the health of the industry.
So we've got World of Concrete, and I know that you have a pipeline of other events that are either considering coming or have already inked the deal. Can you talk to us about what other big things we might be able to expect in the way of announcements?
Sure. And in fact, we have the largest booking of shows in a 12-month period in our history, but between July 1st and June 30th of next year. Part of that is because we've got a bigger building. So we are able to hold some shows that have wanted to come to Las Vegas and haven't had the opportunity because there just wasn't room for them. Some of it is because some of these shows are going to double up. Like World of Concrete is usually a June or a January show. They postponed their January show to June, and then they'll be back again in January for their normal rotation. The broadcasters are doing the same thing. There are a few shows that will have two of their shows in that 12-month period. but we have more square footage booked starting in July for the next 12 months of any year we've ever had at the convention center. So that's really exciting. We'll also, see shows out in the destination. The Sands is starting to see real bookings, Mandalay as well, and then meetings will come back too. So it'll take a little time to get back to normal size, but the interest from those shows and those meetings is real.
Well, you mentioned the convention center expansion. Give us an update on where that is. I know I sit on the LVCVA board and I get to hear this, but it's pretty exciting what's happening there.
Yeah, it really is. And, it's a beautiful building. The architects, the contractors, the workforce did a great job on it. It is going to be something that Las Vegas can be very proud of. And our customers have pretty much all gone through it and have fallen in love with it. And not only just the appearance, but the functionality of the space as well. And I won't bore all your listeners with how to put on a convention, but it is a much more efficient building for our customers than the buildings we've had. The status of the building right now, it's basically done. We are within days of getting a final certificate of occupancy, and we could have gotten that sooner if we had needed it, but that would have cost some extra money, and so we just allowed that time to pass. And we will have a couple of smaller shows prior to World of Concrete. It was kind of a soft opening for the West Hall, but we're looking to do a grand opening in May, and then start to invite the community to come see it, and start to have shows like World of Concrete.
Well, maybe your partners at the Vegas Chamber can do a ribbon cutting in May.
Yeah, sounds like a good idea. You guys are good at that. You have practice.
We have the scissors.
Yes, you do.
But in all seriousness, too, the other great thing that you have been able to pull off at the LVCVA is the Boring Company's people mover in the tunnel. Tell us what's happening there.
Well, as a matter of fact, they just got their certificate of occupancy and their permit to operate today. So that system is now available too. And it's something that we will start to operate as soon as we have shows here. We are thinking about how best to both unveil it as well as start to make it available to people in the community to come take a look at it. We want kids from schools to be able to come. It's the future of transportation. It's going to be in Las Vegas. It's the type of thing that ought to get kids excited about math and science and engineering, and it's a pretty remarkable thing, and they can see it and touch it and experience it, and should be one more opportunity for everybody in the community. So we're excited about what it's going to do here at the convention center, but we're really excited about what it's going to mean as it moves out into the city in any number of different ways.
And I love your idea of inviting the schools in to do a field trip and things like that. I mean, what a great way to excite the kids and get them interested in new modalities and, talk about STEAM. It's all of that rolled into one, really.
Yeah, and it'll work out well over time because, we obviously have times between shows where there's move in and move out going on, but the people mover won't be necessary. So we'll have time to figure out how to do that once we get kids back in school and they feel comfortable getting together and riding in a car.
Yeah, definitely. Switching gears a little bit, Steve, special events, as we all know, they become really big attractions for our city. Do you think the governor will more fully open up for NFL football, and what's on the schedule in terms of that for the next year?
Yeah, I do. I really think that the health situation will allow us to reopen. We frankly think by the time we get into May, basically everybody who wants to have a vaccine will have had the opportunity to do so, at least get the first vaccine in and get started on that path in that time frame. And by that point, people will have been able to make a choice. And once everybody has been able to make that choice, I think that everybody should have the choice of whether they feel comfortable sitting shoulder to shoulder at a Golden Knights game or certainly a Raiders game by the fall. And we're pushing, we're planning events for midsummer that would need to have 100% attendance. And as long as we stay on this path with the vaccine, the health situation stays low, so we know that we're not putting our health system at risk. And once we get to the point that everybody has been able to make their choice on whether to receive the vaccine, I think we need to start thinking about giving that same kind of choice back to people for how they feel comfortable living their lives.
Yeah, I agree. Switching gears again, we know that marketing plays a huge role at the LVCVA and for the destination. I was fortunate enough to recently have been appointed to the LVCVA's marketing committee, and there's a lot of focus on brand new marketing initiatives like utilizing influencers. What do you think what are your predictions for that marketing effort working and bringing visitors back to Vegas? And what do you think will be the new things that we might have to do to attract people to Vegas?
Yeah, well, we're fortunate to have you on the marketing committee. Thanks for agreeing to do that. And it's a pretty exciting time in the marketing field. And, we've got a very broad audience. There's a lot of Vegas fans, and they engage in a number of different channels, types of those channels. So, we still have people who watch, the late night shows and want to watch TV, and we need to reach them there. But our next generation of visitors is, getting that input from TikTok and not, Jimmy Fallon. So we have a very broad mandate to reach that entire cross section of potential Las Vegas visitors. There's a lot of new technology in marketing, so and it plays into social media quite a bit. But alternative reality, virtual reality, AI, and the things that you can do to grab attention, because the attention span, of my kids' generation at this point is pretty short. And if you don't get it quickly with something that really captures their attention, they move on. And we're all like that a little bit, but social media, that happens in 7 and 15-second intervals. And so you need to get them. You need them to click on whatever link is there in order to do more research. So those opportunities are pretty fun, actually. And because of all the technology involved, it really gives you a wide range of options to play with. And we've got a great firm that does that.
Yeah, it really does. And because we're Vegas, the bar is raised really high for us. There are a lot of expectations for us to raise the bar. And I recently learned about a thing called augmented reality. So like you say, the options that we have are pretty vast. And so it's up to us to make use of them. So Steve Hill, thank you so much for being with us today. I can't tell you how much I appreciate your insights and your expertise, and we appreciate your leadership at the LVCVA.
Well, thanks, Mary Beth. We appreciate you being a part of this organization as well, and it was great to be here.
All right. Switching gears. Did you know that April is the month of second chances? When we come back, we'll tell you more and how you can get involved too.
Like Nobody's Business. We'll be right back.
As humans, we're visual creatures. In fact, American adults spend nearly 6 hours each day watching video, and we're evolving and expanding across screens. Whether we're surfing the web at work, streaming our favorite show in a waiting room, or watching the game live at home, Cox Media's digital video solutions can deliver your business's message to consumers in a way that creates a meaningful connection and drives them to take action. Grow your business. Call Cox Media today.
Welcome back to Like Nobody's Business.
Welcome back to this edition of Like Nobody's Business. You know, April is the month of second chances, and it's a time to recognize the importance of giving formerly incarcerated men and women who've served their time an opportunity for jobs and a second chance at life, really. And here to discuss this is my great friend, Jon Ponder. He's the founder and CEO of Hope for Prisoners. Jon, I can't tell you how much I appreciate you being with us today.
Well, thank you so much. I appreciate the opportunity.
Well, you've just done so much for those who've been incarcerated, and I've seen firsthand what a difference you make in people's lives. Tell us about the Hope for Prisoners program and the month of second chances.
Absolutely. So our organization, we work very intensively with men, women, and young adults that are exiting different arenas of our judicial system. And what we do is provide the supportive services that help the men and women return into our community, not only get acclimated back into workplaces, but we make sure there's mechanisms in place through partnerships that we build up with businesses that once they get inside the workplace, they're going to be afforded opportunities to thrive and be able to grow and afforded every opportunity to succeed. We address the needs for them to get acclimated back into the family, making sure there's mechanism in place to help with that family reunification component. And then on the back end of the process, Mary Beth, because there's a long-term 18-month commitment that we walk with them, doing everything we possibly can to ensure that we're providing with the wraparound services so they'll never, ever, ever reoffend again. So we're very excited about the month of second chances, April 2021. This is when we're going to carve out some time to really highlight some of the men and women who have paid their debt to society. And these are folks who have been out 10, 15 years, and not only have they never gone back, but today they're living levels of life that most people only dream of. And we want to carve out that space to really acknowledge them for that, because way too often you hear the stories about the person who went to prison and was home, 6, 7 months and recommitted a crime and going back to prison, and that hits the 6 o'clock news. But not too often do we really take a time out and carve that space for those folks who are just giving back in communities across our country in just incredible, incredible ways.
Well, Jon, again, you just do so much for these folks, and the recidivism rate is what you're talking about, and they do not re-offend. And so it turns out that these folks make amazing employees. So why would you say that employers, so for example, our chamber members, right? Why should employers consider graduates of the Hope for Prisoners program?
Because I think that businesses are everywhere looking for people that are going to be tremendous assets to their business and not liabilities. And the training that we provide for our folks prior to them even being released, training them in with vocational training so that they can earn sustainable wages. So our folks are going to come and they can be trained and they're ready to go and excited about their second chance. But when they get released and they're in our 18-month mechanism, we want the businesses to really understand that you're not just hiring John and Jane Doe, the formerly incarcerated people. You're hiring this entire army of people that are going to be with them over the next 18 months to make sure that when they get inside that workplace, they are going to be soaring like superstars inside that business, helping them to be tremendous assets to that place of employment.
That is so amazing. You know, both law enforcement and several employers across Southern Nevada are huge believers in your program, and rightfully so. I mean, the Vegas Chamber, I'm one. What are some of the companies that you can tell us about that hire your graduates?
There's a whole gamut of employers that have jumped on board. And you made mention of our partnership with law enforcement, working with LVMPD. And when that partnership came about, businesses who traditionally did not hire formerly incarcerated people had jumped on board. So we're talking about businesses like Martin and Harris Construction, who've hired multiple people, Star Nurseries, US Foods, and again, it's just Station Casinos. It's just, we're really, really encouraged about the businesses that have come on board who believe in second chances for those who are really, truly fighting for a second chance. And it just works incredible things in their lives, not only for them, but when they're able to take care of their family, then it's just a win-win for the entire community.
Well, and I know, John, that at the Vegas Chamber, we have planned a webinar coming up very soon in April so that employers can learn more about exactly what they can do to connect with you through the Vegas Chamber. And there are a lot of benefits also that tax credits and things like that that companies get when they hire your graduates, right?
Yes, absolutely. And we're very excited about that too. Looking forward to having the conversation with those businesses. So I'll be there to tell a little bit more about our organization in detail. But we're really excited that we have one of our partners from the Department of Employment and Training and Rehabilitation, along with Workforce Connections, to just talk about those tax credits and on-the-job training monies and incentives that are available for businesses that hire folks, from the Hope for Prisoners program. And we're going to have Mr. Guy Martin from Martin Harris, who has been a wonderful second chance employer, hired multiple people. And I think that, him being there to have a conversation with those business owners, talking about the importance of this, I think that it's going to get those businesses at the chamber very, very excited to, partner with us.
I think so too. And the other thing the Vegas Chamber is very excited about partnering with you on is a virtual job fair that's coming up in April. Tell us about that.
Yeah, we're really, really excited about that. We haven't set the date for that, but I think it's going to be somewhere around the third week of April. We're going to have a chance to talk about that on December 31st. And what we're doing is we're inviting businesses to interview with some of our folks. Remember, these are some of the hardest working people that are dedicated and committed and excited about getting back to work. So, those businesses will have the opportunity to meet some of our hardworking graduates who are trained and ready to go. And again, I am so excited because this is going to be a gigantic win-win for our entire community.
Well, the other thing to be excited about, John, is that luncheon that you're going to be hosting on April 30th. And that's really a celebration of the month of second chances and to honor local employers and partners of the program, like you mentioned, Guy Martin, and also Workforce Connections with Jaime Cruz. And including, of course, the Vegas Chamber. So tell us about this luncheon and what that's all about.
Yeah, so at this luncheon, we have it all set up. It's going to be over the Four Seasons. And I know that people are really excited about getting out since we've opened up. And in this luncheon, again, formerly incarcerated people from all over the country are going to be there in attendance. We're going to have an opportunity to tell their story. We're going to have some guest speakers that are going to be there. But Mary Beth, what I'm really excited about at this luncheon, we're going to Zoom it live into 8 or 12 different prisons across our country. So we're delivering that message into incarcerated people as they're witnessing the men and women who have been in their shoes and are out and seeing employers willing to hire them. That's going to give them hope that their future can look so much different than their past.
And John, I know you have quite a history as well, but tell us a little bit about why you are personally so passionate about second chances and about Hope for Prisoners and what you do.
Yeah, because, I'd be honored to do that. The reason that Hope for Prisoners was birthed out of my own personal experiences. I was a guy who was coming in and out of the system forever, made a whole lot of mistakes trying to get life right. But I remember standing in the prison cell and I had a conversation with God and asked God to turn my life around. And unmistakably, he did. So out of that, I'd say that I got impregnated with the vision of Hope for Prisoners to turn right back around and help other men and women who are facing those same challenges I once had to face, to do everything I can to remove the barriers and to help to escort them up to the next level of life.
Well, Jon Ponder, my friend, thank you so much for being with us today. Thank you for sharing your expertise and for all of your service to our community. I venture to say Nevada would be nothing without the services that you provide. So we appreciate all that you're doing to help us. Thank you, John.
Mary Beth, thank you. And thank you for what you're doing over at the Vegas Chamber and bringing those businesses together to offer employment for our folks. Like I said, it's a huge, huge help and is going to impact lives in our community.
Well, thank you so much again. We appreciate it. We look forward to Second Chances Month in April. All right, stay with us. You'll get a look inside at how one local business has survived behind the mask. We'll tell you what that's all about coming right up.
Like nobody's business. We'll be right back.
Remember Old Vegas where the customer was king? The Casablanca in Mesquite is just like Vegas used to be. Play over 40 of your favorite table games.
Play over 800 slot and video poker machines and get comps, free play, and cash back.
Get away and play 2 18-hole championship golf courses, or pamper yourself in our full-service salon and unwind in our world-class spa. Now this is my kind of getaway. Reserve your $99 golf or spa getaway today. It's just like Vegas used to be.
Welcome back to Like Nobody's Business.
You know, COVID has been a real challenge to so many local businesses. Nick Schneider, our Like Nobody's Business correspondent, has been sharing stories from our members and what life has been like behind the mask. Let's check it out.
Thanks, Mary Beth. Today I'm joined by Market Resolution CEO Sharni Gaskins to learn how community has driven the company to find new success and give you a look at some out-of-this-world technology. It's called ActivePure.
It was initially developed to help be able to provide safety to the astronauts in outer space. In layman's terms, it produces hydroxyls like our bodies naturally create anyway to fight off viruses and bacteria.
ActivePure is in a class of its own as one of the only COVID-fighting technologies that is safe for you or for a friend to be around while in use. Market Resolution is able to provide a level of scalability from large event venues down to the residential or even personal level with a portable device perfect for flights or Uber ride. Just last year, the FDA approved ActivePure to fight COVID.
The success rate was astronomical, being able to provide safe airspace for people indoors, and it killed SARS-CoV-2 99.96% in the air in 3 minutes.
The community has played a big part in helping Market Resolution bring solutions for reopening the Valley, be that partnering with fellow woman-owned business Phenom to make future events safer or creating a program to help the community as the technology expands to more properties.
We're going to actually give back to the homeless shelters technology that they won't have to pay for. It'll just be donated on behalf of us to them to be able to help everybody. You know, COVID does not discriminate.
Head on over to our Facebook page to go even further behind the mask with Market Resolution to learn about how being cause-oriented has led to a truly unique partnership. Thank you for joining us on Behind the Mask. I'm Nick Schneider, signing off.
Thanks, Nick. We're proud to shine that spotlight on our proud Vegas Chamber members. Before we go, I want to highlight a couple of upcoming Vegas Chamber events. Applications are open for Vegas Chamber's Leadership Las Vegas program. This 10-month program teaches you about the many facets of Las Vegas in order to become a more effective community leader. Both Jon Ponder and I are graduates of Leadership Las Vegas and can attest to the power of this great program. Go to leadership.vegas for more information and to apply. And did you know that the Vegas Chamber offers a 401k program for small and medium-sized businesses? If you're interested in offering your employees and yourself a 401k plan, check out the benefits of the Vegas Chamber plan. It offers lower fees and a wide range of investment choices. So please reach out to the Vegas Chamber at vegaschamber.com for more information. On behalf of all of us at the Vegas Chamber, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.